Welcome to the deep dive. So you've probably noticed it too, right? The moon is, well, it's suddenly everywhere again. After decades of being pretty quiet, it feels like every major space nation and every big corporation is racing back.
They are.
So in this deep dive, we really want to get into the why. What are the core strategic reasons behind this new obsession?
And it's definitely not just, nostalgia for the Apollo days. This is a very cold, hard calculation.
Right.
What we're seeing, I think, boils down to three fundamental advantages the moon offers. It's the ultimate military high ground, it's a pristine scientific archive, and it's, well, the next frontier for technology and logistics.
And the big players, they're not all on the same page about how to use it, are they?
Not even close. You have Blue Origin, who are all in on building the infrastructure now, like a permanent base.
A staging area.
Exactly. And then you have, say, Elon Musk, who seems more focused on technology that could just leapfrog the moon and go straight to Mars.
And NASA is sort of caught in the middle, trying to do a bit of both.
Trying to get the best of both worlds. And what's fascinating is that the initial value, the first pillar, isn't even about resources.
What is it then?
For governments, it's pure geopolitics. The moon is the ultimate military high ground.
Go back.
And if you control that space, you have an unparalleled vantage point for surveillance. You could potentially control or, disrupt communications between Earth, the moon, and deep space.
So we're moving past just flags and footprints and into functional control.
Yes.
Control over command, control, communications, all of it.
Absolutely. But then you have the scientists, and they see something totally different. For them, it's like a library.
A library. Tell me more about that, the cosmic archive idea.
Well, think about it. The moon doesn't have a thick atmosphere. It doesn't have plate tectonics like Earth.
So nothing gets eroded or recycled.
Exactly. So you have materials, dust, particles from impacts, solar wind, all preserved for millions, even billions of years. It's a perfect historical record you just can't get anywhere else.
Okay, so that brings us to the more practical side. The tangible assets that make it more than just a vantage point or a library.
Right. This is where it becomes a logistics hub. Whoever gets a foothold on the moon controls key systems for everything that happens further out.
You mean things like data relays?
That's a huge one. Communicating with missions to Mars or beyond, you need relay systems. If you control that network, you effectively control deep space exploration itself.
And the resource that makes all of this actually sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
the one we always hear about, is water ice. Why is that the real game changer?
In a word, propellant.
Rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel. You can take that water ice, split it into hydrogen and oxygen, and you have the fuel for many of today's most powerful rockets.
And you don't have to lift all that weight out of Earth's heavy gravity.
Which is the most expensive part of any mission. Mining it on the moon changes the entire economic model of space travel.
So the moon stops being a destination and becomes the deep space gateway, the gas station on the way to Mars.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's the essential stepping stone. And that's where the corporate players, that third pillar, really come in.
People like Blue Origin building the infrastructure.
Yes.
So they're basically building the highway that everyone else will need to drive on.
That's their vision. Their Blue Moon lander, their new Glenn rocket. It's all designed to build a permanent base and support NASA's Artemis program. Their whole motto is a road to space for the benefit of Earth.
They want to be the logistics company for the solar system.
They do.
Yeah.
But, we have to acknowledge underneath all the tech and strategy, there's a good amount of simple, raw ego driving this too.
The desire to be the one who builds humanity's future off-world.
Of course.
So the crucial takeaway here for you listening is that the moon is just indispensable right now. It gives you control of the high ground, the data systems, and the resources for everything else you might want to do in space.
You really can't get to the rest of the solar system, not economically anyway, without going through the moon first.
It's the gatekeeper.
It is, and it leaves us with a really big question to think about, doesn't it?
Go on.
If the moon is the waypoint and Mars is the metaphor for where we're headed, is this whole intense race really just about controlling resources? Or is it maybe a race to remember who we are beyond borders and money, making Earth itself the real test of whether we're ready to take that next step?